This program is a co-production of the Oahu Civil Defense Agency and Hawaii Public Television.
Hawaii, land of gentle trade winds and endless summer. Safe, clean, comfortable, a great place to relax despite the tensions of the world. But every year, Hawaii's residents work, play, and sleep under the threat of a distant adversary, moving just beyond the horizon. It can strike swiftly, unleashing enough force to bring our lives to a complete standstill. Man is no match for the greatest force on earth, nature. Hurricanes are among the most violent expressions of nature. Our best, and at times our only defense against them, is to prepare for hurricanes and other natural disasters before it is too late. The two most important precautions you can take are developing a personal preparation plan for you and your family and assembling an emergency survival kit. If these steps are taken before the next hurricane threatens our islands, they will not only help to minimize storm damage, they could make the difference between life and death.
The hurricane is basically the greatest force on Earth. If you would compare it to the tornado, which has higher wind speeds, the tornado covers a much smaller area. The diameter of a tornado may affect an area of land a half a mile, whereas a hurricane can affect an area up to 500-600 miles across.
Hurricane season in Hawaii begins in June and extends through November. Dozens of tropical storms may become hurricanes in any given year. Some years, no hurricanes develop. When they do threaten Hawaii, we are all at risk.
We would consider every resident, every visitor, every transit of this island at risk during the passage of a hurricane. Now, some people would be at higher risk than others. Depending on the time and the circumstance, everyone's at risk.
Hurricanes are especially dangerous because they pack a triple threat. The earliest effects of the storm are usually felt along coastal areas, where abnormally high surf and storm surge can inundate structures near the shore.
If you consider the intensity of water alone, water weighing about 62 pounds versus air, it is a lot more intense. The damage is almost complete. I don't think I would want to be sitting on a coastal area that's less than 25 to 30 feet with any hurricane approaching the area. The storm surge and waves washed inland between a quarter and a half mile in some sections along the coast of Oahu.
It becomes particularly important for people who live along the shoreline to leave early, before the storm surge arrives. You might find yourself unable to leave your area if you waited too long. The second element of the hurricane system is the torrential rains that are coming with the system. Rainfall is captured in the valleys, and then all of a sudden streams which are normally low become awfully high and overflow their banks.
Probably the biggest threat to people living along streams during a hurricane or in low-lying areas is from flooding. 9 out of 10 people killed by hurricanes are usually killed by water, flooding, and or the storm surge.
Well, the third element of a hurricane is the extremely high wind velocity. A hurricane, by definition, already has winds of 74 miles an hour or greater. We're talking about sustained winds.
The biggest threat from the wind, of course, is the flying debris, which can be very dangerous because it's the flying obstacles that are likely to threaten you. Also, as houses are damaged, that debris can blow into other houses and actually break windows and cause the houses to literally explode. So if you're living in an exposed area on a high ridge or near a ridge top where you're likely to get much stronger winds, you should consider shuttering your house, and if you have a lot of glass, maybe even evacuating and going to shelter.
Your first line of defense against an approaching hurricane is to understand the civil defense siren signal. It is a loud, steady tone which will be sounded for 3 minutes and repeated as necessary. When you hear this signal, turn immediately to your local radio or television station. They will carry important emergency information issued from the Oahu Civil Defense Agency. The emergency broadcast system will keep you informed about the storm's position, when and where evacuation should take place, which shelters are open, and other matters.
Messages for the island of Oahu only.
The Hurricane Watch basically tells people that there is a threat of hurricane conditions within 36 hours.
The hurricane warning is in effect for the island.
The hurricane warning is issued when the threat is likely within 24 hours.
As the storm approaches, severe weather conditions may interrupt our power and communications. Evacuation to public shelters could become difficult or impossible. Your state and city government will be prepared to deal with the consequences of such a storm. Will you? You and your family should develop an emergency preparation plan before the start of every hurricane season. Make sure that everyone in the household understands the civil defense siren signals. Identify potential threats in your area and plan safe routes of escape. Know the locations of several emergency shelters close to you. Determine where everyone will meet if separated for any reason. Keep an emergency survival kit ready at all times. Check the condition of rain gutters and downspouts. Clear them of debris. Trim trees to remove dead wood, which might be a hazard. Keep blue ice packs in the freezer. If you own a boat, determine where to move it. Visit the gas station more often. It's a good idea to keep your vehicle's gas tank at least 3/4 full at all times. Many of our older island homes were not built to withstand hurricane-force winds. Amendments to Oahu's building code now require the use of metal hurricane clips, uplift ties, and straps on all new lightly constructed homes. From the roof line to the foundation, they add strength to the building's joints when compared to ordinary nails. Best of all, they can easily be added to existing structures.
I think it would be advisable to start putting these now into your homes while you can. Putting straps and ties into the structure is not really that expensive. The cost of a damaged building would be more expensive to repair if your roof, for example, flies away.